I just wanted to share some information about a free script that I'm making available for you to use with your Microsoft 365 environment. So you can find that script by going to my GitHub repository, which is github.com/directorcia. If you then go and have a look in the Office 365 repository, you'll see that there are a number of free scripts that are available for you. You can go and use those. Make sure that you go and check back regularly, because I do update those regularly. Now, the one that I have updated just recently, and what I'll talk about here, is the one here called O365-MX-check. Now, if you click on that, you'll see that there is the code there, so you can copy that into a file and then save it on your local machine to start using. Now, when we want to run this script, the very first thing that we'll need to do is to basically connect to our Office 365 environment, especially the Exchange components. We need to make sure that we are connected to Exchange Online before we actually run the mailbox checking script. Now, my advice to you is to also go into that same repository and look for a file called O365-connect-exov2. And that will step you through the process of connecting to Exchange Online. So again, if we log in here with the details, again, this tenant does support multi-factor authentication. So the good thing about the updated version of the Exchange Online module is that it will automatically support this for me immediately. So just got to wait for the request to come through. Then I can approve that on my phone. And now we'll see that this is going to connect to Exchange Online. So the script, the mailbox checking script, the idea is that it will go through all the mailboxes in your environment and then give you a report as to the status as compared to best practices. Okay, so that script again, you'll find it O365-MX, right, -check.ps1. So all you need to do is simply run that after you've connected to Exchange Online, and you'll see that it goes through basically all the mailboxes that you have in your tenant and will report on different configurations for those mailboxes. So if we scroll up, we'll see that the script basically will check to see that you're connected to Exchange Online first. We'll then get the mailboxes, and then we'll start checking the mailboxes. So it will give you the name of the mailbox and also the UPN. It'll also let you know the primary SMTP address. So that is the outbound address that mailbox uses, when the mailbox was created, whether auditing has been enabled on that mailbox to be able to track any actions, the length of the logs, so how long the logs are retained for that mailbox. Now, the default option is 90 days out of the box, but you can extend that beyond 90 days. My advice to you as best practice would be to extend that for as long as you can within your tenant confines. So again, that's why I've highlighted that in red. The retention of deleted items by default on mailboxes is only 14 days. The best practice is to extend that to 30 days. And again, that has come up green here because that's exactly what I've done on this mailbox. It's also recommended that if you have a license for litigation hold, you should enable that. Again, that's dependent on the Microsoft 365 license you have. In this case, it has been disabled for that mailbox. You should also go in and enable the mailbox archiving. Now, the archiving is available on all mailboxes. It's just that the combination of the standard mailbox plus the archive does have a limit within a certain license. So for example, the standard license will give you 50 gigs, which you can split between the normal mailbox plus the archive, whereas in the enterprise mailboxes, typically you get a limit on the normal mailbox but an unlimited archive. So the bottom line is that archiving is supported on all mailboxes, and you should enable it to, again, move some of the stuff off into the cloud rather than having to sync it down to an OST file all the time. You'll also see here the maximum send and receive size. So this is the maximum attachment size or mail plus the attachment in total that you can send and receive. And then it'll also let you know whether POP3 and IMAP have been enabled for that mailbox. Now, best practice is to turn those off because not many people use POP3 or IMAP, and they can be used for password spray attacks. So again, if you're not using POP3 and IMAP, best practice is to disable it. So if we go and have a look at another mailbox, you'll see we get the same sort of reporting, but you'll notice in this case that the retained deleted items is now only 14 days, the standard out of the box, and that has been highlighted in red because that, again, you can extend to 30 days, which is the best practice there. So you'll get a report through all the mailboxes there. You'll see that if there are any issues or any errors, they will report. So in this case, this mailbox for some reason doesn't have the ability to show us POP3 and IMAP, so it just lets us know basically what that is. And you'll see also here that if we get a long mailbox, in this case the search discovery mailbox has a GUID in it, again that is just terminated in the display. It is still reporting as normal. So we'll go through all of these and go through all the mailboxes in your tenant, giving you a report here that you can view on the screen. Now what also happens is we can also run the script, but we can also use the -CSV option here as well. Now when we do that, you'll basically get the same output on the screen, but it will note at the bottom here that the file has been sent to a CSV file in the parent directory. Alright, so if we pop out here and have a look in our downloads, right, so if we go into that directory and go into our downloads and then go into source and then go into Office 365, right, so that's the directory that it was in, so it's in the parent here. So let's sort these by modification, and you'll see that here is the CSV file. So if I double click on the CSV file, that will then open in Excel, and basically it will give us a nice column formatted summary of all the mailboxes that we can then take, sort, analyze, and do more analysis on if we want. So you'll see here that we've got our our mailboxes here and all the different columns, all right, as we see on the screen. So that's available for you as well if you use the -CSV. The other thing you'll notice is that it will also create a log file for you in the parent directory as well. That'll just again give you an example of exactly what is displayed on the screen, so you can always reference that. Now it's important to know that if you do specify the -CSV, a new CSV will be created on each run, so you'll get a new CSV file every time you run the script with that option, but the log file here, the .txt file, will be overwritten each and every time. All right, so again, so the way we can run this is we can run the file here directly after we've connected to Exchange Online by just running o365-mx-check.ps1. All right, and that's going to output the summary there to the screen. Okay, and then if you want to, you can also specify it with a -CSV, which will give you an output to a file that you can load into Excel. Now, you can find that, once again, as I mentioned, at my GitHub repository. So if you go to github.com/directorcia/office365 and then have a look for the o365-mx-check.ps1, you can then take a copy of the file. Also, please note that there are some comments in here that will help you better understand what's going on and what it's reporting on. All right, so it's not meant to be a complete summary of the mailbox, just to give you an indication of the most common things and the most common suggestions when it comes to best practices for your mailboxes. So I hope that's given you some benefit. Make sure that you do check back on a regular basis to have a look and see whether this file is updated, because I do update it occasionally. So make sure that you go in there and pick up the latest update before you run it. So I hope with that it will provide you some benefit. Please provide me any feedback or let me know what sort of scripts you'd like to have created that could help your environment. Thank you very much for watching the video.